Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Manolis from Man United Fans Voice. I am in Manchester and in my hotel room waiting. It's about 3 hours until kickoff. I'm so excited. I'm buzzing. I cannot wait to get to Old Trafford to see the second debut, the amazing return of the GOAT, the greatest ever, Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm so excited. I think most of you can imagine how excited I am right now, but I'll try and do a little preview for the game for you. I promise I will try and post as many pictures and videos from the game as possible. Last time I was in the game against Leeds, the internet was very bad. The 4G was terrible. I hardly had any 4G, so it was very difficult to post things. But hopefully the situation is going to be a bit better with my internet this time. I am so excited. But let's try and make a little preview video for this game and talk about what we should expect. With Premier League football returning today after what felt like a very long international break, Manchester United are hosting Newcastle United at Old Trafford. However, this game will be remembered as the second debut of the amazing, the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo, after his deadline day transfer from Juventus. With about 3 hours to go until kickoff, I must admit I'm fairly confident about today's game. Possibly Cristiano Ronaldo's debut in front of 75,000 fans, possibly Varane's debut at Old Trafford, maybe Jadon Sancho's first start at Old Trafford. Newcastle United, we know, have quite a few problems. The latest important problem for them is that Callum Wilson will not be available for Steve Bruce. So I think it's fair to say that I am fairly confident for today's game. I think this game should be won fairly confident by United. Of course, we know very well that we cannot underestimate any team in the Premier League, but I think everything indicates that United should get the job done, and we should be expecting a good performance from Manchester United today. Manchester United are coming into this game after a fairly positive start to this Premier League season. United have taken 7 points from the first 3 league fixtures, beating Leeds United in a 5-1 thrilling game, then drawing 1-1 against Southampton away before managing to beat Arsenal's consecutive away Premier League record with a very difficult 1-0 win against Wolves at Molineux. And now for my predicted lineup for today's game. First of all, yesterday we saw the reports about the squad for today's game, and we saw that the names of McTominay, Fred and Edinson Cavani were missing. Now, sometimes that has happened before, and then we have seen that the players are back in the squad because for various reasons some players are not with the squad the previous day at the hotel, and then they are with the rest of the team on the day of the game. So we will take it as we found the news out yesterday that Scott McTominay, Fred and Edinson Cavani will not be available. For the prediction is going to be made based on that being the fact. I think that as far as the defense, there's not really any conversation to be made. In my opinion, I think David De Gea will start as the goalkeeper. Luke Shaw and 𝗟𝗡𝗞𝗦 will be the fullbacks, and Harry Maguire with Raphael Varane will be the centre backs. The area that the conversation starts is the midfield. With Fred, Scott McTominay possibly not available, our choices for that area are very limited, and I think it's a very lucky coincidence that we are facing Newcastle United and not someone possibly much stronger. So this is probably a great opportunity for Donny van de Beek to get his first start and his first appearance for this season, and maybe get a lot of fans pleased with that. I do feel that this is the game for Donny van de Beek to start, because even if Fred is available, because there's a lot of things heard and said about the situation with the Brazilian players and what is going to happen with them this weekend. The latest reports that we have are that they are going to be available for selection. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that as far as Fred's choice I do feel that he should and only will bench him. Fred has had a terrible start to this season, and I think that it is in his best interest to not start today's game. I think that Ole should, and I do feel that he will not start with Fred, regardless of if Fred is available for today's game or not. So I do believe that this is a great opportunity against a team that will allow players like Donny van de Beek to show their best qualities and their best attributes. So I believe that the midfield pivot today will be Nemanja Matic and Donny van de Beek. Of course, in front of them will be, as always, Bruno Fernandes. I feel that Jadon Sancho will not be starting today's game. We also need to consider that from today there is a very packed schedule for United, with games, 2 games every week, with a game midweek and on the weekend, with Champions League starting next week against the Young Boys away. I think Jadon Sancho will make a start in the Champions League game, so I feel that Ole might bench him today. One player that, of course, in my opinion, cannot be benched is Mason Greenwood. I think he has been our most consistent and best player up to now this season, scoring a goal in every game. So Mason Greenwood is the one name that I think is guaranteed to start today. So I feel Mason Greenwood will start on the right, Paul Pogba will start on the left, and of course Anthony Martial, I'm joking, Cristiano Ronaldo will start as our striker. The GOAT Cristiano Ronaldo will be our number 9. So my predicted lineup for today's game is David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, Nemanja Matic with Donny van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes in front of them, Paul Pogba on the left, Mason Greenwood on the right, and Cristiano Ronaldo as the main striker. Earlier this week we had 2 very interesting interviews, one from Donny van de Beek's agent and another one from the player himself, regarding his thoughts and feelings about his lack of playing time up to now with Manchester United and what he wants from his future. They both basically said that the player was seriously thinking about leaving Manchester United for the sake of having more playing time, getting more chances to play somewhere else, especially after the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo, but that Solskjaer and Manchester United refused that transfer request, and that they both, the agent and the player, expect Donny van de Beek to start getting more playing time from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this season. Now, yes, of course, we all want to see Donny play more. We all want to see Donny van de Beek getting more chances. He genuinely seems as a very likable young man. He seems to be a very good professional. I love his attitude. But I do believe that all this talk, all this hype creates enormous amounts of pressure on Donny van de Beek. And although some might not like it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is Manchester United's manager. And although I do feel for Donny, I do want to see more of Donny, I don't make it into a habit of siding with players or their agents. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking after Man United. Donny van de Beek is interested in playing more, is interested in his career, is interested in his best interest, and his agent, of course, is looking out for his client. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like I said, is looking after United, and I also don't agree with the opinion that Solskjaer should play Donny now because he needs to calm fans down, he needs to calm the whole situation down, because if that's the case, then why not Alex Telles' agent doesn't come out next and do the same things, make the same statements, Lindelof's, Anthony Martial's? That is just not the right solution. In both those interviews, we heard Donny van de Beek and his agent mentioned that most of his career Donny has played as a number 10. Donny mentioned that that was the position he played most games for Ajax. Of course, when he was asked, he said that he can also play as a number 6 or as a number 8. In my opinion, he is just a player desperate to get some more playing time. He would say yes to practically anything. His agent mentioned that they were very close in accepting an offer. They tried to make a transfer to Everton this summer because Everton have some issues in the number 10 position. So that means that Donny van de Beek was about to accept leaving Manchester United, accept leaving Champions League football to go to Everton to play as a number 10. Donny van de Beek himself mentioned that most of his career he has played as a number 10. If he can play as a number 6 or as a number 8, that's a different subject that I will talk about later on. But it was very clear that the player has spent most of his career playing as a number 10 and that he was willing to accept leaving Manchester United for a smaller team, leaving Champions League football, to play for Everton as a number 10. So the first question that we all need to think about, that we all need to ask ourselves is would you drop Bruno Fernandes for Donny van de Beek? Would you accept not playing Bruno Fernandes in order to play Donny more? I wouldn't. So there has been a lot of talk, a lot of debate, a lot of arguments about what is Donny van de Beek's best position. Is he a number 10? Can he play as a number 6? Can he play as a number 8? Firstly, I think we can all agree that Donny van de Beek's agent knows his client's best position because, yes, Donny did talk about number 6 and number 8 when he was asked about it. In the interview from his agent, there wasn't even any mention about any other positions. It was only about Donny van de Beek being a number 10 and wanted to go to Everton because Everton needed a number 10. If we try and analyze where Donny can play in this Manchester United lineup, I think in my opinion, we first need to understand what are the roles in Ole's midfield pivot, because I don't think anyone wants Donny to play in Bruno Fernandes' position, and I think we can all realistically say that he is not going to get enormously more amounts of game time if we are expecting him to be Bruno's replacement. So let's try and analyze if Donny can play in that pivot. To do that, we need to first understand what Ole wants from those two positions, because I hear and I read a lot of people mistakenly, in my opinion, say things like, oh, he can play as a number 6, or that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer uses two players there because they are not good enough, so he has two players doing one player's job. In my opinion, that is completely wrong. Those are two different roles. They are two players doing completely different roles. The number 6 in Ole's formation is the defensive midfielder, is the player that's going to stay in front of the defense, is the player that is going to, as soon as we lose possession, try to hunt the ball down, try to chase the opposition players and will win the ball back. It's the player that stays back more. The other player of the pivot, the position that usually Scott McTominay plays when he is fit, is what we mainly call as a box-to-box player. He has license to go forward more. So it is not two players doing one player's job. It is not two defensive midfielders like a lot of people say. It's two players with two completely different roles. Now, because many people dislike Fred so much, they say that Donny van de Beek should play in Fred's position, and I think that's wrong, because I don't think that Donny van de Beek can do that job. I don't think his qualities, his attributes are that type of player. Like I said, okay, you might not like Fred. We might not have a player that can be the defensive midfielder that we want United to have, but Fred has some attributes that allow him to do that job. The number 6 for all his tactics, for all his system, is the player, like I said, who stays back and who tries, as soon as we lose the ball, to hunt, to be the dog, to chase the ball until we win it back. Do you think Donny can do that? I personally don't see that. I don't see Donny being that type of player, and I think it would be wrong, it would be completely misusing Donny if we try to put him in that place. People don't like Fred so much that they just say anything in order to Fred to come out of the squad and Donny van de Beek to get into the squad. But we have to be logical. The number 6 position is the dog who chases the ball around, tries to win the ball, stays back, doesn't have a lot of license to go forward. There is a conversation made about Donny van de Beek, especially now that he's built up a bit, being able to play as the number 8. Yes, I do agree that we could possibly see Donny van de Beek get more chances as the number 8, and I hope that we do. I do think that Donny van de Beek has the necessary attributes to do play as the number 8 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer formation. I do hope Ole gives Donny a chance in the pivot, because I just don't see him playing as a number 10. In my opinion, there is blame on both sides. As a player, you need to take responsibility for your performances, and in my opinion, he hasn't been that solid, that his performances have not been that stellar. But also as a player, you need more chances to showcase your talent, and I believe that Ole hasn't given Donny van de Beek enough chances up to now. I feel that unfortunately our fans are treating the Donny van de Beek situation as they did with Dalot. A large section of our fans are blaming Ole 100% for this situation, and another large section of our fan base is blaming Donny for this problem. It's just not that simple though. Situations like this are simply not as easy to have a clear opinion, not as easy to solve. Unfortunately, a lot of our fans do not want to see it in that way. But let's see how the season goes. I do believe in Donny. I talked a lot about it last season, that I do believe in his abilities, and I did say numerous times that I think this season he will get his choices to prove how good of an asset he could be for Manchester United. So I do believe in his abilities. Ole has to manage his squad a bit better. There are a lot of good players in Manchester United squad this season. The club had the opportunity to let Donny go to Everton and bring in another midfielder, but that choice, that transfer request was declined by Solskjaer. And he, regardless of if people like it or not, he is Manchester United's manager. He is there to make those decisions. So now he has to make better use of Donny van de Beek. His decisions, his squad, his responsibility. So that was my Newcastle United match preview. It's nearly time to start heading towards Old Trafford. Like I said in the beginning, I cannot express how excited I am. I am buzzing. The GOAT is back at Old Trafford, and I will be there to witness it. It's going to be electric. It's going to be amazing. I will try, like I said, hopefully my internet is going to be a bit better than what it was in the game against Leeds, and I will be able to post more videos and pictures. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.